Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel for this, the 8th episode of my career series on MotoGP 21. Last time at Aragon and Misano we had very good results, finally had an episode where both races went well, and hopefully we'll continue with that in this episode, although I'm not too positive for the next race in Japan because I usually haven't done well in previous MotoGP games on this race, so hopefully this time it will be better. And after that we have Thailand Grand Prix, which is as well unknown actually for me. I either had very good results or very bad results depending on class and on which game it was. So we'll see how it will go here. We'll have new engine upgrade, the last engine upgrade for Australian Grand Prix, but for now we're going to Japan, and I'll see you in qualifying. So here we are for Q2 at Motegi. I was 5th fastest in combined practice times, about 2/10 down on Sergio Garcia, but at my fastest lap I actually rode off the throttle on the start-finish straight not to go fastest because I was trying to do that development test where you need to improve from lap to lap in 3 consecutive laps, and after that I couldn't actually complete a clean lap because I didn't want to use another new set of tires, so yeah. But still, it's 5th overall. I had great pace in free practice, and hopefully that pace will be translated into qualifying. So here we are for my flying lap in qualifying 2. Late on the brakes in turn 1. Barely kept it on the track. And nice exit onto the straight. Now coming into turn 3. Brake as late as possible. Second gear. Little bit wide. That compromised my exit here. But still about half a second up on Antonelli. This hairpin has gave me many problems in free practice, but still it was fast enough through there. Sector 2, 1.3 seconds faster than Antonelli. Now hairpin for the exit onto the longest straight of the circuit. Rear tire is overheating. It's almost 2 seconds up on Antonelli, and now the corner I had most trouble with, the 90-degree corner. I'll brake a bit earlier for it. And it worked fine this time around. Just the last chicane, victory corner, and a bit late exit onto the start-finish straight, and that's amazing lap time. It's almost 2 seconds faster than what I did in free practice. I think that will be it for this qualifying from me. And that was pole position, again dominant pole position like in Misano, 2.2 seconds ahead of Acosta and Binder. Masia is in 4th with 2.3 seconds behind me. So here we are for the race at Japanese Grand Prix in Motegi. Starting from pole position, qualifying went really well. Hopefully I will have a better start than I had at Misano and that I'll be able to run away with this race. Strategy this time around, it's a bit cooler temperatures than usual than last few episodes. So I'm going medium on tires and full tank of fuel. This is the full starting grid. The goal for this race is to just extend the championship lead as much as possible. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. So that was the full starting grid. Everything is ready for a race. Red lights are on. And we are off for Japanese Grand Prix. Very bad start from myself. But good enough recovery into the first two corners. And we are up again in P3. Slipstream behind Binder on his Honda. On the outside there is no space to go. But great exit on this straight, and it's P2 behind Acosta. Nice and easy does it. We have 7 laps to pass him, which should be plenty of time. And nice overtake on Acosta. We are back into the lead. Acosta is trying to go past me. Very defensive from me in this corner. And now defensive, trying to break it all on the straight. I might have made a mistake with tire choice. Rear tire is overheating very much. So I'll have to go easy on it. But that's easier said than done. It looks like we just hit the form back again when it's the most important at the end of the season, trying to win our first World Championship Moto3 class before we go to Moto2 class next season. I'm worried a bit about rear tire overheating, and that was track limits warning. I touched the grass on the entry to that previous corner and went wide a bit into the hairpin curve, but we are still in a good position, and Masia is not in the top 8. That's great news for us. That's what we need. For once that he is hitting troubles and I'm going away at the front. That was the fastest lap of the race. Nicely through the first two corners. A bit deep in turn 3. Nice exit from turn 4. But Garcia is relentless in his pursuit. Oh, I almost lost the front here. I pushed it a bit hard in that hairpin. So I've just read today that Maverick Viñales will do his first test with Aprilia next week. Probably by the time you see this video that will already have happened. I'm actually a bit surprised that Aprilia chose him over Dovi, but I don't think he actually is good enough for any of the MotoGP teams, as Garcia pushes me wide and I got second track limits warning. I don't know what's with the AI lately. They are very slow in qualifying. I'm 2+ seconds faster in that one lap than they are, but then come race and they are very competitive with me. On one hand, it makes for much more interesting racing, but on the other hand, I hate it when I go into the race thinking, oh, this would be too easy, and then the AI ups their game a notch or two. So we are still leading the race. Lap 4 is almost done. They are still close behind me, and Masia has climbed back into P8. And that was a bit of a wobble here in last chicane. That brought Garcia even closer to me, but we are still in the lead. I will use a bit of power mode 3 just to try and make a gap, or run wide. Luckily this wasn't given as track limits warning, probably because I lost a lot of time. And this again too wide. I was late on turn-in. Nice and easy does it. Not going to take too many risks. I really don't want to throw this race away. It's just a tenth ahead of Garcia. Again, mistake in the last corner. Apparently whatever I do, it's wrong there. Okay, let's try to build a bit of a gap. Acosta's trying to go outside. Sergio Garcia is trying to go on the inside. And I managed to squeeze in the middle. I was again going a bit wide there, but managed to stay on track this time around and actually extend a bit of my advantage. And that's very wide. Luckily no track limits warning, because I'm already on 2. But that brought Garcia again closer to me. My tires, especially the front one, are feeling really second hand now. They don't provide really too much grip anymore, especially on braking. And the rear tire is overheated all over. Garcia tries to pass me, but luckily I managed to keep in front of him. .90-degree corner. So far so good. A bit better through the victory corner, but still not perfect. Although I managed to keep my advantage going into the final lap. And nicely through turns 1 and 2. Nicely through turn 3 and 4. Doing it all good right when it matters. Turn 5, nicely done. Just when it matters in the last lap, I managed to string those corners perfectly almost. A little bit mistake here, but nothing too serious. I'm still gaining a lot of time. V corner finally got it nicely hooked. Now hairpin corner, a bit maybe too cautious, but better safe than sorry. Nice exit on the back straight.
great for the cameras to take us to Parc Fermé to meet the podium finishers. Let's take a quick look at the Moto3 class final standings. Undoubtedly, it was a perfect day for him. In addition to the victory, his position also earns him 25 priceless championship points.
So here we are before the Thailand Grand Prix, and as always I'll do free practice 3 just to get acclimatized to the track. I haven't really ridden on it in this game so far, and I'll meet you back in qualifying. So I went through to Q2 from free practice. I was about half a second faster than Masia on combined times in conditions similar to what we have in Q2 now, with clouds all over the track. And yeah, the only problem I had in free practice is that I was very inconsistent, and I could do one lap in like 43.9 and then the next lap would be 45.0, 45.1. So that could be a problem for a race, but hopefully it won't come to that. So for qualifying we go with new set of soft tires front and rear, and I'll meet you on the track for my lap. So here we are for the race. We had a great qualifying session. We're starting on pole position and we had great advantage. Hopefully at least some of it will be present here in this race. So let's go on the track. You know my strategy already if you followed any of the previous episodes or even the previous race. And here's the full grid. Masia is down in 5th place, but we could really do great strides to winning the championship in this race. Of course I can't win it in this race, but we can get much closer than we are at the moment. So warm-up lap is done. We are ready on pole position to start the race and hopefully dominate for once. Red lights are on and we are off for the Thailand Grand Prix. I almost had a jump start. I just released the button, the clutch button, when lights went off, So that was actually very lucky for me. We kept our first position at the start, which is very important because we know that I have trouble when I need to, well, I'm in trouble when I need to fight back through the field, and I tend to make many mistakes then. So we are now at halfway point of the first lap, still leading and making our first mistake of the race, getting track limits warning. But Gia and Masia are very close behind. We must say that this track looks so much different than in practice or qualifying, because in those sessions sun wasn't out like this, it was cloudy, and visibility was much better because there was no glare on the track, but we'll get used to it. Nicely into the last corner, a bit wide on the exit but still kept it inside the track limits, and that was lap 1. Foggia did the turn 1 much better than I did, and he's on my tail, the closest he's been all race so far. But this sector 2 is where I gained so much time on the AI, although now I made a mistake on the exit of turn 3, so that might not be the case this time around. Masia went through to P2. A bit wide here in turn 4 for me. But this time nicely through here. And we gained a lot of time on the AI. Oh, I almost went down. I was on the curb when I started to brake, so my rear stepped out quite violently. Still, AI behind me is battling, so they haven't gained time. Actually, I gained some on them. I actually thought that this last corner will be so problematic for me after first 2 or 3 laps in practice, because I just couldn't get it stopped for the apex. But once that I got the braking point for it, it wasn't problem at all. And this is second track limits warning. I must say, I'm much happier now in this game when they introduced the long lap penalty and track limits warnings, rather than what we had before, when they just added some time here and there when you went out of the track limits, because time they were adding barely ever made any sense for me. I could gain a lot of time going wide and get a tenth or 2 added on, and at the other corner I could go on barely off the line and get half a second or more added. So this time it's much better. You know what you can do and you can't do, and you know how much penalty you will receive. I've started to make some mistakes in this lap. Hopefully that was just a bogus lap for me. We are nearing the halfway distance of the race already. It went by so fast for me. So I'm recording this race a few days after I recorded the previous race, Japanese Grand Prix, and since then Vinales was confirmed to start riding for Aprilia at Aragon. Also Morbidelli was confirmed on factory Yamaha and Dovi on Petronas Yamaha. Those two are actually, I'm quite happy about those announcements. I'm not happy actually about Vinales going to Aprilia because in my opinion he doesn't deserve to be in MotoGP. I know he has a lot of fans, some of you may even watch my channel, but I just don't have high opinion of Vinales at all. Also nice to know that Jake Dixon will get another chance on GP bike at Aragon before he returns back to his Moto2 duties at Misano, and it's nice also for McPhee to get a taste of bigger bike when he will take Dixon's bike in Moto2 class at Aragon. Although I expected Binder to get that seat, but for this race, kinda like a test for next season maybe, how he performs on bigger bike, but I think McPhee deserves it as well. So we are now in lap 5, controlling the race. Managed to get about 2 seconds of the advantage and really no need to push hard anymore, I just have to watch the gap and react if AI riders, Masia and company, start to get closer to my position. Strangely enough, we don't have fastest lap graphics shown under the standings, but I think my lap was the fastest lap of the race so far. Hopefully I won't get a long lap penalty until the end of this race, because in practice it wasn't going well. I had a development test on which I had to do better than the time they set for me while doing a long lap penalty, and I was either too slow or fast enough, but not doing the long lap properly, and it took me about 7 laps to complete that development test, which is a lot, but at least I had some practice all over the track. So AI has started closing on my position, but I think if I don't do any stupid mistakes, I think they are far enough for me to control this race until the end. So penultimate lap I have about 1.1 seconds advantage. I may start using power map 3 on these long straights just to gain some advantage. I saved a bit of fuel for that. And just like that I brought my advantage back to 1.8. That's a bit too wide for me. Too late on the brakes and on turning. Here as well. That's 1.6 at the end of this lap. And it should be new fastest lap of the race. Final lap. Nicely through the turn 1. It's now just important not to make any mistakes. I think the advantage that I have is big enough to win this race, and I am too deep into this hairpin. I had to let the brake off so not to lose the front, but we lost about 4/10 of the second compared to Masia. Oh, that was nearly high side. And this was very scruffy sector 2 from me. Nice and easy. Just 2 corners to go. And that should be a win for me. Final corner, and that's another win in Moto3 season, and should be very important race, although Masia finished just 1 position behind me in second, so that's 5 points compared to him that we gained in championship standings. And as you can see in championship standings, we are now 35 points ahead of Masia, and that's, well, if we do well at next race in Malaysia, no, next race is in Phillip Island, I think we'll have this one hand on the trophy for this season before we go to Moto2 next season. And so in one of our final races with this team, we're once again celebrating with them in paddock, and hopefully we'll part our ways on the high, although we'll still remain with a GoPro team in Moto2 on Kalex bikes, but still those guys will remain in Moto3 and will be in class above them. So reputation gone, higher up still. It's getting pretty high now, which is great to see. Finances not climbing that fast, but steadily we are having more and more money in our balance. And research data, we had everything except lap by lap, and we didn't have best sector time in race, but as we all know, we have developed our bike completely, so there is actually no point in doing those tests other than to acclimatize with a race. So we have a new candidate for personal manager. That's Johnny Thunder, and he's not worth it. Not much better than our current guy, so no need to switch. So we'll advance to the next week, which means we now have our new frame upgrade on, and our bike is now completely upgraded. We can't develop anything else for it, which is fine. Personal manager has a proposal for us. We've got proposal from my current team, Moto3 KTM GoPro Racing, but we have nothing to do with them anymore. We are going to Moto2 next season, so I reject this proposal. And yeah, next race is Australian Grand Prix and then Malaysian Grand Prix. Those will be in the next episode, and then for the last episode of this season I'll do Valencia and I'll do pre-season stuff in Moto2 so that we can start properly with race 1 of Moto2 season in new episode. That's all from me for this time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next one.